Doug says what he thinks, and he does what he says. He's worked with his dad, with his brother Rob, and now with his nephew Michael for over 25 years. They fight for the little guy. They respect the taxpayers. So, please help me give a big Northern Ontario welcome to the next Premier of our province, Mr. Doug Ford.
Wow, my friends, what a crowd. That's unbelievable. Fred, thank you. Thank you for everything. What a champion and his whole team. It's incredible. And I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight. You have to excuse my voice, it's a little hoarse. We've been traveling around Ontario and talking to the people of Ontario, talking to the grassroots people of Ontario. I love Sudbury, I love the people here. They're down to earth, they're real people. Grassroots people, and they've been ignored. They've been ignored. And I'm here to tell you, when I'm Premier, I'm coming back into the exact same room, and I'm going to be fighting for you. And I don't say I'm going to be fighting for you, I'm going to be fighting for you. I was talking to my friend Troy, which I think is a great candidate. Where's Troy? Troy, are you up there? There you are, he's the big guy. You know, the enforcer back there. We'll both be fighting. I told Troy in the back room there, I said, Troy, I'm going to help you win this riding. Because I relate to the people. I relate to the frontline people, the working class people. My other candidates don't. And that's not a shot against them. They just come from a different group. This is going to be one of the most critical elections in Ontario's history. And we're going to have a choice. The choice is, Kathleen Wynne's gone. I've never seen an election that she's gone. That's a given. Everywhere I'm going, I'm hearing she's gone.
She's gone.
We're going to have a choice between the same old insiders, the political elites, the cronyism, or liberal light, like my competitors are. They should be proud that they're liberal light. I'm proud I'm a fiscal conservative. I'm proud I'm a social conservative. And I stand up for the little guy. And we've been fighting that same fight down at the City of Toronto. Our traditional base is made up of 40% of NDP union members. 49% of traditional Liberal voters. But that doesn't mean they aren't fiscally conservative. The frontline people that are working their back off and they come home and they open up the paper and they see the backroom deals. They see the billion-dollar deals, sole source deals. That's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. We're going to clean out our party, sanitize our party from top to bottom, because the same people have been around for 20 years. They're career insiders. And the career insiders are worried about one thing. They're worried about lining their own pockets, feathering their buddy's nest, being the lobbyists. They're done. They're done. It's about the grassroots people. My friends, our policy, I find out as I'm going along, only 10% of our policy was made up of the grassroots people. 90% of it was made in the back room. That's unacceptable. We have to get out there and start voicing the opinion of the grassroots people in this party. And it just hasn't happened. It hasn't happened for 20 years. You see Queen's Park, I say Queen's Park is politically corrupt from top to bottom. I keep saying we're going to sanitize our park, we're going to sanitize Queen's Park. And start respecting the taxpayers. Start putting money back into your pocket instead of the government's pocket. These politicians truly believe that they're smarter than all of us. And they truly do believe that. A lot of politicians, they forget their roots. I can tell you, I don't know Troy that well, but that guy's a down-to-earth guy. He's a team player. He's a scrapper, and I love scrappers. I do. In Troy, he's not the insider, he's not the political elites, he's not part of the political establishment. Those are the guys I want on my team. And I've told all the MPPs, and I've told all the candidates, as I told Troy in there. I said, Troy, Doug Ford, and he never asked for a deal, by the way. I said, I don't make deals. You wonder why some of these candidates are jumping on side? I might have 2 or 3 of them. Because I represent the people. One of my opponents, I was saying to one of my colleagues on the way up here, I said, she's going to have a cabinet of 60 people because she's promised every single person a cabinet post. Again, the establishment, the insiders, it's all about getting the big contracts. My friends, they don't want Doug Ford down there because they know I'm going to disrupt the apple cart. I'm going to go make sure that we hold the liberal media, liberal insiders, the establishment, PC establishment. It's done. And friends, you look at our economy right now. You look at jobs, everywhere I'm going, people are saying the same thing. We need a job. We have lost 300,000 manufacturing jobs under the McGinty-Wynne Liberals. That's staggering. That's 300,000 families that are struggling right now. I have a company that you're familiar with, I'm sure all of you are familiar with, in my own backyard. It's called Campbell's Soup. Campbell's Soup was in Etobicoke for over 100 years. Employed generations of people. And when I went down to talk to Campbell's Soup, they said, Doug, we can't compete here in Ontario. We can't compete because you have the highest property taxes, you have the highest water rates, you have the highest hydro rates, and then you're hitting us with this tax called the carbon tax. The carbon tax is the worst tax. I don't even know why they put the word carbon in front of it. It's ridiculous. It's just a tax is a tax. And it doesn't make us competitive. I was the first one to come out and say, the carbon tax is done. It's going to be done. My opponents, they were hedging it on. They went out and did focus groups and paid pollsters. I don't need to do that. I talk to the people. And the people are telling me they want to make sure they have a job. They attract companies. And then when we get into the carbon tax and the carbon credits, it's a big farce. Do you know that we're sending $469 million of our hard-earned tax dollars to California and to Quebec, mostly California. I'm taking that $469 million and we're investing it here in Ontario. We're going to invest it in the north to make sure we build that infrastructure, to get to the mining communities, to make sure there's billions of dollars sitting there that's going to benefit not just the north, it's going to benefit all of Ontario. That's what we're going to do. When I say we're going to do something, we have a proven track record of doing it. It's our reputation. I will break down that brick wall over there when I say I'm going to do something for people in Sudbury and the rest of the north. My friends, I get letters every week, every second week, from states in the U.S. We have a place in Chicago and a place in Toronto. We're a printer. And I get these letters saying, come and open up in Texas. We'll have a tax-free zone. As long as you employ people. You look at what's happening in the States, you've all seen it on the news. Unemployment's the lowest it's been in 20 some odd years. Trillions of dollars are coming back into the country, being spread amongst the people. It's not being hoarded. Even though the liberal media wants you to believe that, it's proven that it's being spread through the people. Manufacturing jobs are coming back into the United States by the droves. And then we have Ontario. Come to Ontario and you're going to have the highest taxes, You're gonna get hit with a carbon tax, hydro rates at the highest in North America. We're gonna give you more red tape and bureaucracy, that we're gonna make it impossible for you to open up. And make sure we differentiate between tax incentives for companies versus corporate welfare. I'm not dead against corporate welfare. Example, some big companies out there, give me $1 billion, they never pay it back. I'm gonna give them incentives, not corporate welfare. And healthcare. Healthcare is broken. It's broken. And guess what? It's not the doctor's fault. We have some of the best doctors in the world right here in Ontario. It's not the nurses. The doctors and the nurses are under full attack by this Liberal government. And when I talk to the doctors, they're saying, Doug, it's not always money. It's about being listened to. We aren't being listened to. Similar to a lot of the farmers I met, going up and down rural areas. They're saying, Doug, again, we aren't being listened to. I have a very simple philosophy in politics and in business. My philosophy is, I surround myself with smarter people than myself in their area of expertise. And one example would be the Minister of Agriculture. I love how they put politicians in places that they don't have a clue. Do you remember Kathleen Wynne appointed herself a couple of years ago, the Minister of Agriculture? And I'm thinking, you gotta be kidding. You've never planted a tomato plant in your life. And she wants to be the ministry. We're gonna find a farmer that's an MPP that's gonna be the minister. We're gonna find people that understand the mining industry. We're gonna find someone that understands the mining industry, that grew up in the mining area to be the Minister of Mining. That's what I believe in. Healthcare, let's find a physician, but reaching out to the people that understand their profession. I'll tell you 2 quick stories about the healthcare system. I say it's called hallway healthcare. And I've told one of these stories many times. The other story I'm going to tell you after, I've only told about 3 groups. My mother had a slip. Call EMS to come pick her up, bring her up to Humber River Hospital. Humber River Hospital is in Toronto. It's the first digital hospital in North America with the shortest wait times. She rolls in on a stretcher and she gets stacked up in the hallway like cars on the 401 in rush hour in Toronto. I'm sure you've all been there and experienced the rush hour. They were coming in so quick, they couldn't keep up. EMS couldn't keep up, nurses couldn't keep up, doctors couldn't keep up. And I think it was 4.5 hours, 5 hours, and the EMS people were telling me 6 hours for any other hospital. Rural areas, Peterborough. 7,000 people live in Peterborough without a physician. In the rural areas, be it Sudbury or any other part of the north, I will give incentives to doctors that come up here. If I have to buy or build a little medical building for them, I'm going to do that. I'll give them a break on their taxes, just to make sure they come up here. My second story is about my brother Rob. Every single person in this room has a family member or a friend that's been affected by this terrible, terrible disease, cancer. I've only told 3 other groups this in all of Ontario, but I want to share this with you tonight. It was, when Rob was sick, he had about 3 weeks left, and I was in the hospital. I was staying there overnight, and it was about, I don't know, 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock. Now he was in bed, and at the time, you're lying in bed a long time, you get sores, bed sores, so you need to get some air. And he said, Doug, I gotta get up, and I want to go sit on the chair. Well, Rob's a big guy, like really big guy, and I said, Rob, I don't know if we're gonna make it over the chair, because he didn't stand for a couple of weeks, and his legs just didn't have the muscles in them. So I go over, and I try to hold him on the side, and we try to get up, and he goes down. I'm thinking, unbelievable. So he's lying there in his gown, in the diaper, and the whole bit. So I run down the hallway to get a nurse. There was 2 nurses on duty for the whole floor. So I bring the nurses in. We try to get him up. We couldn't get him up. So I'm thinking, I'm starting to panic, and so I took it upon myself. I ran to the elevator. I'll never forget, it was on the 11th floor. And I run down the elevator, and I see 2 security guards. I said, guys, I need your help. They have nothing to do with healthcare. I said, I'm in desperate need of your help. Rob's on the ground. I need your help. Get him on the elevator. We go up. By that time I got down, got him, it was probably 10 minutes. And we go in there, and Rob's still lying on the floor. You know, the humility that is. And I swore that day, and I'll never forget these security guards, ever. I swore that day that no family would ever go through what we went through. And that we'll make sure we're going to have the support that the people need in palliative care and other areas. And we will do that. We'll make sure we give the support to the healthcare system. We'll give them the resources. And I told the doctors, help is on its way. The nurses, help is on its way. Because we live in Ontario, and that should never, ever happen to anyone. And we'll make sure that we change the healthcare system with the support of the doctors, with the support of the nurses. Friends, the education system is broken. We are failing our children. Right now, grade 6 math, our students are at 50% provincial standards. So the Liberals come up and say, we're going to throw $60 million at it. They're still at the 50% standards. We should be in the highest percentiles in the entire world when it comes to our students. I think, again, I love the teachers. I think the teachers do a great job. But I had conversations with some teachers. And I'm the only one with a backbone to stand up and say what I said in the last debate. I'm dead against this sex ed curriculum. I'm dead against it. And if we said anything and you said you were dead against sex ed, you weren't going to be a candidate in this party. If you said anything about carbon tax, you weren't going to be a candidate. I believe in letting our members vote the way they want, what they believe in, to the exception of the budget. That's the one vote I'm going to need. But the parents weren't consulted. I believe it starts at home. And we consult with the parents, which we will do, after I repeal the sexual education. We're going to consult with the teachers, which all my teacher friends are saying, no, we didn't have a word in it. But do you know who had a word in it? Someone that was charged with child pornography.
Yeah.
And if you read up on it, look into it, now he has another job making sure he reviews all child pornography. Is this the liberal ideology that's being rammed down our throat? I didn't believe it until someone sent me information just last week, and I read it. I said, you gotta be kidding. You know, that's fox in the hen. That's worse. That's insulting the fox and the hens. This guy's just a piece of work. My friends, we're going to have to change. We're going to start getting the grassroots people out there. We're going to create jobs. We're going to put money and start respecting the taxpayers in your pocket instead of the government's. There's a $141.7 billion budget. Does each and every one of you think we can save maybe 4 cents on the dollar? Everywhere I go in Ontario, the reaction is only 4 cents. So 4 cents on the dollar equals $6 billion. That's $6 billion that could go to healthcare, go to education, infrastructure, build roads up in the north. That's huge, $6 billion. And if we can't find 4 cents on the dollar in government, we should not be elected. We shouldn't even take office. But I can assure you, we're gonna find those savings. And again, all the backroom deals, as I've said, they're done. All the scams and the sole source deals, they're done. We're putting all that online. We're gonna stop the sole source deals. We're putting all purchasing. I don't care if they buy pencils, it's going online. It's going out for bid. We're taking the bids. It's gonna be transparent. Each and every one of you will be able to go online and see what the government's spending your money on. And I see the backroom deals, and you know, as my couple of my opponents, there's no deals with people. I don't make deals with politicians. I can't be bought. I won't take a job from Kathleen Wynne. I won't be bought, and I can't be influenced. The only people that can influence me are you folks. That's the only people. We're going to review all the procurement from top to bottom, line item by line item. I'm the only candidate that's actually went down to a government, which is City Hall, 5th largest budget in Canada. It's a $10 billion operating budget, $2 billion infrastructure budget. And I'll never forget, when Rob and I went down there the very first day, we sat down and the CFO said, you're facing $774 million of pressure going into this year. In other words, we spent $774 million before you came into office that we didn't have. We went out and we delivered that year a 0% tax increase, saved the taxpayers $1 billion. Not one single person got laid off. Again, confirm it, go online, not one single person lost their jobs. We found efficiencies through best practices, through technology, through lean systems. We're passionate about protecting the frontline workers, but what drives me nuts in government? Layers of managers. Supervisor reporting into supervisor, reporting into supervisor. They're all justifying their jobs. So when the supervisor comes up through attrition, and we have 14 supervisors all reporting into each other, we just aren't replacing them. That's some of the areas we're going to find efficiencies. Casino. There's a casino in my area that just opened up. Great Canadian Gaming bid against 2 other companies. They're from 2 other companies. All being equal, I'm picking the Canadian company. But all wasn't equal. To the tune of $700 million difference in the bid. Then I look into this Great Canadian Gaming, and the chair of Kathleen Wynne's campaign was part of the group. So we lost out $700 million. No one's talking about it. That's unacceptable. My friends, I can tell you, if I'm elected, a new day will dawn in Ontario, a day of growth, a day of prosperity this province has never ever seen. We're going to make sure we lower the taxes for middle income. We're going to make sure we give businesses incentives to come here in Ontario and open business. I'm going to go down, and hopefully you can join me at every border crossing with a big huge neon sign saying Ontario is open for business. And we will attract the jobs. I can't wait. I really can't wait to get in there. But just think, we have a choice. This is a one-time shot. We've lost 15 years. They've destroyed this province. We have $340 billion of debt. That's the most indebted region out of any province and state in the entire world. The entire world. That's $12 billion a year in servicing our debt. That's $12 billion that again could go to families with children with autism, infrastructure, affordable housing. That's $12 billion of your money wasted. That's the fourth largest line item on our budget. That's just mismanagement. And you wonder why our hydro rates are so high. And please, I can talk about the energy file all day, all night, but I'll kind of summarize it. Again, I encourage you to go online and look at all these deals they're making. Number one, selling off our hydro. The wind turbines, a big scam. We're being subsidized. We're actually losing money on the energy coming from the wind turbines. We're throwing the energy out that's not being used. And it's inflated. As I went to Ottawa and met the energy critic for the Conservatives, he said, Doug, you're in the printing industry. I said, yes. He goes, wouldn't you love to have a monopoly in your industry, charging, you just throw a fictitious number, you're charging 90 cents when it should be being charged 10 cents. Bay Street and the bankers are making billions, not millions, billions off the backs of all of us. That's done. I'm gonna end these contracts. Spoke to my friend Jason Kenney, which will be the next premier in Alberta. Hopefully sooner than later. It's gonna be another year. We're gonna challenge Justin Trudeau. We're gonna hold him. Moore from Saskatchewan is fighting alone right now. Told him I'm on my way. Jason's on their way. Because we can't be at a disadvantage when we're trying to compete against the world in business. We can't be at a disadvantage against our neighbors to the south. And as I was saying, how the unemployment is at the lowest it's ever been, because they went from a 38% corporate tax rate, highest in the world, 36, highest in the world, one of the highest, down to a 21%. Is it a coincidence that all these manufacturing jobs are coming back? I always say government doesn't create jobs. They create the environment to create jobs. Because when the government creates jobs, it costs us all. And it costs us 10 times more. And that's why I always believe we can spend our money a lot wiser by putting it in your pockets instead of the government. Because each and every one of you, if I give you more money, you'll stimulate the economy. You may do a renovation that you might otherwise not have the money for. And the most vulnerable people in society, my heart breaks for, about this minimum wage. People went from, let's say, 12 to 14. And yes, it did hurt businesses. 60,000 jobs will be lost. But I sat down with their accountant. I said, what's the tax rate? Well, these people are paying an additional 30% to the government. So she pretends she's helping the most vulnerable, but all your taxes are going up. I thought, here's a simple solution. I'm gonna give a 0% tax for anyone earning $30,000 or less. And you help the most vulnerable people. You help businesses. But those people are going to have $160 extra in their pocket when they leave the warehouse, leave the office, leave the restaurant, wherever they're working. They're actually going to have extra money to spend. And that's huge. That is huge. When we go across Ontario and people are coming up to me telling me they can't afford their hydro bills. A lady this morning said her hydro bill was $500. They're choosing between eating and heating. And I've heard it over and over again. It's tough. When seniors need to go out and get dental work, that costs a fortune. These are the people that help build our country, build our province, and it's about time we start giving back to the people that built this country. Start supporting the seniors. And my friends, I'm all about helping people around the world, right? But I'm helping ourselves first.
Yeah.
All the money, the millions and millions and millions of dollars that are all around the world, I'm not cold-hearted, but they're staying here first because there's a lot more people in need in our own backyard. Those are the people I'm taking care of. I don't need to take care of all the big fat cats on Bay Street. It just it's not gonna happen. I can give you a little background on myself. We had a little mom and pop printing company growing up, and my dad had 9 kids. He was the youngest of 9. Father passed away, he was in the war, passed away, and he told each and every one of us, anyone who knew my dad, would testify this is the truth. Son, no one gave me anything, I'm not giving you anything. And you're getting in, well, he didn't have to tell me, but into work at 6:30, and I'll never forget, calling my dad at night, hey Dad, I'm leaving, it was about 8:30 after 14 hours, and he'd look at his watch and say, why are you going home so early? And he wasn't even joking. He wasn't joking. I'm dead serious. And we'd have to work in the factory. Every day I'm out in that factory. Every day talking to our people. I don't sit in some oval desk, signing checks. I talk to our people. I'm not shy to get my hands dirty. I'll go grab a shovel and dig that ditch in about 3 seconds. I'm not establishment. Sure, we worked our back off. And we've had tough years. Don't kid yourself. We've had tough years in our business. We've had some good years. But it's not from a silver spoon. I can assure you that. And there's thousands of people know our family and know that's the truth of the matter. And that's what all I want is our politicians to do. Don't get in this Queen's Park bubble and forget about your roots, where you came from, the people who elected you. Return their calls. Very simple. Return a call. Rob was famous for returning calls. I return every call. Matter of fact, yesterday I called the office, the campaign office. I said, give me my call list. They said there's 2,642 calls in return. But we'll get through it. And the media is telling you, how can you return 14 million calls? I said, because I'm going to put the mentality into all the bureaucrats and our team as MPPs. You return every single call. That's how we're going to return all the calls. Have you ever called the government, you pick up the line, it's press 1, press 4, press 7, press 6, and by the time you're going around, and then you get the person on the phone, and they don't even give you proper direction. Every single ministry, someone's going to be picking the phone up personally. Thank you for calling the ministry of XYZ. How can I help you? That's customer service. It's about customer service excellence, restoring confidence into the taxpayers, making sure that, again, there's accountability, transparency, and integrity, something that we haven't seen at Queen's Park for years. That's coming back. And if it doesn't come back, they're gone. They're gone. We look at Hydro One. All the fat cats are making, one guy's $4.5 million, another guy's $2.5, $1.5. Then you look at Quebec Hydro, CEO's making $400,000. What's going on here? Then they go off and sell one of our utilities, 25% of it. They tried that stunt with Rob and I down in the city, Toronto Hydro, and they were out on their butts. I'll never forget all these big bankers coming, oh, you need hydro. I can't even repeat what Rob said to him. He just tells them the way it is. Politely hit the road. Not quite that politely, but he just pointed out, where the door was. My friends, I want to thank you tonight. I love the people of Sudbury and Troy. I'm Premier. I'm coming back. We're going to win this riding. And when we have a rally, when we have a rally, we're going to have 2,000 to 3,000 people. Something that Sudbury's never seen before. I relate to the frontline people. And again, respectfully saying, my 2 opponents, they just don't relate to you folks. I'm sorry, it's not an insult. If I told Roy, if I was running in Rosedale, or you were running in Rosedale, Troy, I'm not your guy. For example, I'm not your guy. Sudbury, I'm your guy. Because I'm going to fight you to the end. I thank you. God bless each and every one of you. We'll be down there fighting. And if you need my help, I'm going to have my cards here. You call me. I will get back to you. Just give me a few days. It's been a little hectic lately. We're heading off to Ottawa tonight. We're gonna be driving throughout the night. I got this big debate tomorrow. I'm gonna be polite, but I'm just gonna call it the way it is tomorrow. You know, when you're making backroom deals and you're promising 60 ministries and all the rest of it, people are gonna have to see the difference. And we have one shot at this, as I say. I appreciate, I always leave, I'm asking for your vote. And I will fight for you.
Ontario great again.
We will make Ontario the most prosperous region anywhere in North America. Thank you very much.